This MMA 30 segment is powered by The Gun Store. Next time you're in Las Vegas, if you want to shoot a real machine gun, do it at The Gun Store at 2900 East Tropicana.
I wasn't not happy about fighting BJ Penn. But really, it's what I don't really have any comment on that.
He says you've got the best boxing in the game, pretty much.
Yeah, I've sparred with him before. And he's fought the best there is, so he would know.
If you could elaborate, I remember on the conference call you said that you think technically he's a better fighter than GSP. Could you elaborate on that?
Well, he's a real black belt in jiu-jitsu. And not that George isn't a real black belt, but, you know, BJ is a really good at jiu-jitsu. I believe it's because he came originally from Ralph Gracie and Cesar Gracie. I know he made his debut the same day as my partner Steve Heath and David Terrell. I actually had that video on VHS when I was a kid. I used to watch it, so I saw BJ Penn fight before anybody. And that's because he comes from where I come from, and I believe that's why he's as good as he is. And so yeah, he has 4 years experience on me, and he's much more technical fighter than George, I would say, because it's just I know who he's had to work with, and I know who BJ's had to work with, and sometimes it's more about who he started out with too.
Basically, the evolution of your game from the last time fans saw you in the octagon to you coming back now, and now you're in the main event. What can they expect? What's the difference?
Well, I'm getting older. I'm working harder, and I'm always improving. So that's the difference. It's a big difference.
How important is your brother to the support system, to getting through all the media and stuff?
My brother's the most important thing to me. Probably more important than anything. A lot of times it's why I have to push forward and do so good, because I can't, there'd been a lot less pressure on me if I didn't have a younger brother, and I'm happy I do. I'm happy I do have a younger brother. I have a great younger brother and training partner, and I'm really grateful and thankful for that. Sure, yeah, I do that year round. It's not like I try to go pro or anything with that. I just, I do the best I can. I always excel in that, just as I do in mixed martial arts. I think I do well because in triathlon it's the swim, bike, and run. Just like here, it's mixed martial arts, and I do better. I do better like that. But yeah, I've been racing Xterra a lot, mountain biking a lot. I do, it's year round, so it's nice, and it helps me get real altitude. People try to get some altitude training, or they go somewhere and have a camp somewhere. It's kind of hard to set up a whole, I just train where I train, and then maybe I'll go spend a couple of days and get some good rides in up in the mountains, and get some good runs in up there. And then I've been swimming at Heather Farms in Walnut Creek's really champion swim team there, and I got records, all over the wall. I got all these good swimmers I've been swimming with lately, so I've been getting some really good swimming. And I'm always improving on my fitness, and a lot of that's where a lot of my base comes from. My background is swimming and running. My grandfather, Coach Don Womble, he was a track coach, Lodi High. I used to get suspended from school. I get in a fight. I wasn't. It's not that I got moved around a lot of schools when I was a kid, so I had a hard time catching up, and I just had a little bit rough when I was younger, so I'd get suspended and sent home, and then I'd have to go out back and work, and then after that I'd have to go run track. So, I'd go he'd be off the track at 2 o'clock, then I'd have to go with him and run. So that happened to me, quite a bit.
Well, I ask because people do argue that your endurance is what's possibly going to make a difference in this fight. If it goes longer, that it's advantages for you.
Yeah, I've always been, running. I've always been in runs and doing 10Ks and since I was second grade. So yeah, I'm more of an endurance athlete than these guys, and usually I tend to wear on people in the later rounds. But this is a 3-round fight, and it's really not a lot. It's really not a lot of time to work with. So a lot of it's going to be about speed and technique and strength.
Have you noticed that things have changed for you in terms of your popularity in the last few months?
No, that's what I live in Stockton. Like I was saying, that's that's kind of some of the perks about living in Stockton. Nobody, even if people do know who you are, they're not they're not gonna say anything. They're gonna act, like, oh, well, I don't care who he is. So, it's good for me. It keeps me, training right and not all, not, I don't really get into the whole everybody paying attention to you thing because most of the time I don't get recognized when I'm in town.
After your fight in January, you talked a lot about wanting to box. Obviously, that's not on the table right now, but is that still something that you'd like to do at some point?
As far as I know, that that whole deal is wiped out. Like I'm on some sort of a new contract that keeps me from doing that. As far as I know, I don't ask too much questions. I don't want to stress out over that. I have to stress out over about my condition I'm in leading up to the fight, and the more I can just kind of put out, not think about and put out of my head, and I just focus on training. I just tend to do best like that, and it's been worked for me for a long time. So I'm really like I think that you don't want to change what works. I believe that is a good thing to stand by in MMA. Is, keep what works.
Do you think that you're misunderstood or misrepresented at all as a fighter?
Yeah, sure, misrepresented. Yeah, I'm the only one doing triathlon, making times, and improving times and improving fitness levels significantly. And no one's paying attention to it. They always want to see somebody, hit a tire with a hammer over. I get hit a tire with a hammer over and over again. No one's gonna know how hard I'm working, or it's not. It's hard to. Sometimes I feel like it's a lot of wasted energy that could be put towards something that you're going to excel in, And then once you excel in, you're going to get better at hitting the tire, and then a couple years down the road, you're the best tire swing hitter and sled dragger. So I think a little bit of that stuff's good, but too much of it can be a waste of time. You have a lot of coaches that want to be the coach and they want to tell you what's good because they've been in fitness for so long. But sometimes it's best to listen to yourself. If you're the mixed martial artist and they're putting you on the top, and this sport hasn't been around forever, so there's only so many people that you can trust and listen to. And a lot of the time, for most people, definitely for George's sake, it's going to have to listen to himself. And
what do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, like, I've been around a lot of coaches and fighters, like Valery Ignatov was one of my trainers, a Sambo champion, and he's from Bulgaria, and he's been one of my coaches on the side, my Sambo coach since I was 16 years old. And this has a lot to do with why I'm a lot different with submission and grappling than a lot of other jiu-jitsu guys. And so I've been taught both sides of things, and I've had good coaches, Steve Heath, and just people who have been in this for a long time. Started out with Gil Castillo. George came from Canada, and I don't feel like there was a lot of fighters that were coming out of Canada back then that were doing anything. And so I feel like I come from more of a martial arts background, and have a lot more people that were into mixed martial arts that I was studying with when I got into the sport. If you win the title, you make a lot of money just holding that thing. It's like people are throwing money at you everywhere you go. I don't have that. I can't stop fighting right now. If I wanted to, I need to make some money. And I don't spend a lot of money. I spend money on training, but I gotta work hard and get paid, just like everybody goes to work, every day. And it's hard times. Nobody likes people are like, oh, you love this sport, it's a job.
So there's nothing fun about it for you?
It's fun being, I train, I work with my team, and I have a great time with them. And I have a lot of fun, But at the same time, when it really comes down to it, I could be doing the same thing and not doing it for money. The money takes the fun out of it, It's fun. I love jiu-jitsu. I love boxing. I love practicing and training, but fighting for money, against people, that's it's not, it's not my favorite.
Have you put a cap as to how many more years you want to do this for?
No, I don't. I really don't. I really don't know. You know, this could be my last fight.
What
The last fight could have been my last fight. That's, you know, I feel like that every fight. This could be my last fight. So you never know. I mean, I don't need this. It doesn't have to stay this way. You know,
still enjoy it
I've
as
had a
much
great
as-
time. I feel like I had a great career. I took 3 Strikeforce belts. That's good enough for me, you know. Now I'm just, I'm here to, you know, I'm here to do what I'm told, pretty much. I'm here to do what my coach tells me. He really, you know, he wants me to do this fight. He talked me into taking this fight, and you know, Dana White and Caesar, and they want me here, so I'm here. So I don't fight people I know, and that's just a kind of a rule I have. I don't care about the money. And you know, he signed a fight first. And that's all. I would never sign a fight first. I don't care how much money you put in front of me. I don't care if you put millions and millions of dollars. You say whatever you want. I can't do it, man. You know what I mean? If he signs 2, if I signs first, then yeah. But it's just a rule of mine.
Did you guys have a conversation about that then? You and BJ?
No, he sent me a message, said, sorry about the position you're in. You really got f***ed. And I just, yeah, that's that, you know?
Do you understand in some way why the UFC made that decision, or do you still not get it? Or do you think it was unfair?
No, they do what they like. I mean, I suppose. I don't know. You know, I'm grateful to have a job and to be getting paid, especially for this fight. And it's what it is.
This MMA 30 segment is powered by The Gun Store. Next time you're in Las Vegas, if you want to shoot a real machine gun, do it at The Gun Store at 2900 East Tropicana.